Hi, this is Seth Mosley, and you're listening to the Full Circle Music Show, the why of the music biz. And sitting next to me, I've got Logan Crockett in the house.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, my friend?
I am doing well. It's been a long day talking to a really cool guest, but a really good day.
A very good day. And why is it a good day? It's a great day for you guys who are listening because this is the culmination of the music marketing series. A little sad it's coming to an end.
Indeed. This is the first time that we've done a series like this. And between 4 different episodes, we put a little bit more thought into exactly how these 4 episodes would go. And so this is a different thing for us. But it's a little sad to see the whole thing like go from idea to now it's over.
Exactly. But the good news is I think we're potentially thinking about doing some more series like these, assuming that you guys, the listeners, like them. I think it was a lot of fun. I learned a ton. We learned about YouTube. We learned about marketing songs of the church.
Email marketing. And today in the culmination, we are going to be hearing from Scott from one of our favorite companies that we use in our company called SamCart. And why SamCart? I think we started using them sometime around when we were selling our second boot camp, so like last October. And I mean, they've just made a massive difference in our business just from the ease of what it's been, like just sending people to a simple, clean checkout process, essentially, that not only is super easy for people to fill out and doesn't cause anyone any headaches on the seller's end or on the buyer's end, but it just makes it super easy for us to set up and to actually track sales, and then better yet, to actually make extra revenue from every single sale that comes in. A lot more than if you're just using kind of standard tools out there for every single person that we get into our funnel, as you call it in the marketing world. We're actually making a lot more than just kind of the initial sale price.
Yeah, so it's great. Lots and lots of amazing value in this episode. And we get into talking about a lot of things that may be paradigm shifters for a lot of our listeners in the music audience.
I mean, most people in music have probably never heard some of these ideas relating to marketing and selling. Like this is something extremely popular actually in the quote marketing world, but it is applied to music very, very, very rarely. But here we're pulling back the curtain and letting you see what professional marketers actually do and how we can apply that directly to the music industry. Honestly, no matter what you're like, if you're selling music, definitely applies, but almost if you're doing anything else in the music industry, this 100% applies to how you can make revenue as well.
Yeah, of course, if you're a listener and not in the music industry and you sell anything online, this 100% applies to you. But since most of our listeners are either interested in music or working in music, we're going to learn about some things like upsells, how you can make those work for you, what can musicians sell as upsells, and we're also going to be talking about how they can make SamCart work for them.
Well, honestly, and the big thing that's going to be a real paradigm shift for people is we talk about why people shouldn't rely primarily on iTunes and Amazon and Spotify as a sales strategy.
Huge paradigm buster right there. I think a lot of us copy the major label strategy, which is just blast it out, throw it up on a multi-seller platform, which for me, multi-seller platform, that's a term that I didn't know until 6 months ago, but we interact with them every day. There are things like iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, really anything that's an aggregator of content. But one of the paradigms that we break in this episode is why it's actually an inferior way to sell to your fans.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty powerful. And the exciting thing is we don't normally do this. In fact, I don't know that we've ever done this, but for those of you who stick around to the very end of this episode, we have not one free thing, not 2 free things, but like 8 free things.
Yeah, we have like a giant collection. Like we said, this has been the culmination, the grand finale of this whole 4-part podcast marketing series that we've done. And to kind of celebrate the end of it, we are giving away some really, really cool free stuff. Our guest from SamCart, they're giving away some really, really cool free stuff. And I want to stress, like, there isn't a catch to this. Like, we're giving this away completely for free.
Yeah, totally. And it's not, just breadcrumbs. This is stuff that's very, very powerful and can actually help you make real money, which for all of us, we want to make music our career. We don't just want to keep it as a hobby. At least most of us don't. And so this way, and the way that SamCart teaches their type of marketing. This is the perfect culmination for the music marketing series, and I'm just so glad we got to have this conversation.
Very much.
Anything you want to add before we jump in?
So some of what we're going to talk about is definitely going to be, what we've been saying, it's going to be a paradigm shift. It's going to be something that a lot of you guys aren't used to, but I want to encourage you to approach it with an open mind, because as we talk about in the episode, our goal is to help you literally make $1,000 from your music within the next 14 days. And if you really apply what we're talking about here, that is extremely possible. So even though, we're going to break some norms of the industry here, this is going to be something that can just revolutionize whatever you're doing in the music industry as far as sales go. So pay attention, be open-minded, and we're here to help too. Send us an email. Again, Logan@fullcirclemusic.com. I'd love to talk to you about anything that we discuss in this episode.
Yeah. So without any further ado, part 4 of our music marketing series here on the Full Circle Music Show. We're heading into the studio where we're talking with Scott from SamCart. Live from Full Circle Music Studios in Franklin, Tennessee, we've got Scott from SamCart.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, so before we jump too far into what SamCart is and why it's so incredible, why don't you give us a brief background just on your story? How did SamCart end up?
Definitely, yeah. So, anybody who's familiar with SamCart is usually they understand, usually they're more familiar with my older brother. So my older brother, Brian, and myself, we got started sort of in both of us were business majors, right? We did marketing kind of stuff. He's a couple years older than me, left school. I was still in college. He was working at what's really popular around this area is a lot of government contracting and stuff like that. A lot of places where you leave your phone in your car kind of joint. It's anyway. So he's working in a specific government agency that will not be named basement, and is basically just hating his life. He just wasn't too thrilled about whatever. So he got started, was hey, I'm going to make this baseball training website, because he was a really, really good college baseball player. Yeah, we started growing that. I was working out of a dorm room. That sort of transformed into a blossoming business where we basically sold online baseball courses and stuff.
And so you were with Brian doing that from the beginning with the train baseball.
Yeah. So that would have been 2010, I think is when that was. So then I left school in 2011. He was obviously had been out a little bit. But yeah, that transitioned itself into, we got really, really good at Facebook ads back in the day when that was a thing. It's still very much a thing, but when it was a brand new thing, how's that? We got really good at that. So we started a company called Get 10,000 Fans. Basically teaching people how to market on Facebook, how to reach an audience on Facebook, all that stuff. And then that transitioned into SamCart. And so we still operate those other brands and stuff, but SamCart has become 100% the main focus of what it is that we do. And I'm sure we'll get more into that, but that's sort of the short version of how we got to where we are now. And sort of our now what's kind of weird is, I guess we've been doing this for the better part of 7 or 8 years now. So yeah, no, that's kind of our experience in just selling stuff online. We probably sold between, I don't know, probably something between $30 and $40 million in sales online. SamCart now is definitely our most valuable asset itself, probably something like $100 million software company. These are all broad market terms or whatever, but no, we learned a lot of lessons. We're completely self-taught. We just sort of got our hands dirty, started doing stuff, and that's kind of what got us here. So
that's awesome, man. So you guys teach that selling is done best direct to fan, where you use sales strategies instead of just putting items for sale on your website and hoping people buy it. Why is direct to fan, and sometimes we call this sales funnels, why is that a superior way to do it?
Yeah, 100%. So, it's basically the difference of you guys ever seen Field of Dreams, right? It's the whole build it and they will come. That is great for a baseball movie, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's terrible for selling stuff. Just the idea of if I just throw this stuff out there, I got a show, right? I'm just going to put up a table, I'm going to put out merch, and just people will buy it, right? As opposed to I can get kind of a bad term or whatever that, but marketing and sales and stuff like that, when it's done much more effectively is not, it is the opposite. The opposite of build it and they will come is let me entertain the idea or pull out the idea of what my audience's problem is, right? And a benefit that I have that matches that problem. So how can I help solve that problem, right? And so basically that's kind of the idea behind SamCart is sort of the anti-storefront, right? A lot of people go out there on their site and they're look, I'm going to build this storefront and it's going to have all of my stuff on one page and everyone's going to go in there, they're going to buy all this stuff, it's going to be sick, right? And instead, what we like to do on SamCart is more of one checkout page sells one thing at one time, right? And so for SamCart, you're not going to, well, SamCart's maybe kind of a weird example. We'll take like a band. A band is an example, right? So like instead of here's my big storefront, it's like, hey, look, like maybe I'm going to sell you.
Just to give our audience some context, like a storefront we're talking about, that would be where you would have like on your website, you would have, I have this CD and this CD and this t-shirt and this t-shirt and this poster. So like you literally, it's one page where you just have all these different items for sale and you can add them all to cart.
Yeah, bingo. Exactly. Yeah. Well, instead, if I'm going to do that, let me think about, okay, cool. I'm going to focus on selling you a t-shirt right here, right now, right? I'm going to talk about like the benefits of why you want that t-shirt. Like you're going to be on the in crowd, like maybe give away bonuses with that t-shirt. Like the next time you wear that to a show, you get backstage and get like, you know, you get a picture with the band or, you know, something like that. But that's the difference between unleashing someone into this like big, broad world of a store and sort of selling them one thing targeted. And you get a chance to do a lot more when you sell one thing at one time. And that's sort of like a, you know, the high level version of like a sales marketing theory that we really subscribe to. And we would call that like direct response is like another word for that. But obviously, you know, music people like don't get too lost in this stuff. This is really, we're the experts in stuff like this so that you don't have to be kind of stuff. And SamCart's just a tool that makes that way, way easier. And as far as, you know, when it comes to selling stuff, it is infinitely more effective.
Yeah. Well, and then I want to point out too, I mean, and we do have a lot of people from, you know, major labels who listen to this podcast as well. But we kind of talked on our email marketing podcast how something that's a little dangerous, especially for up and coming musicians, is to emulate what the major labels do. And pretty much, you know, any up and coming musician is going to, when they're trying to make a website, they're just going to go to some sort of major label artist website. And they're honestly, major label artists are totally guilty of this too. They just have a big store with all these different items on it.
Bingo.
And so because of that, that's what probably a lot of you listening to this, up and coming musicians, that's what a lot of you guys are probably emulating. You're just, if you have a website, you're probably going and you're putting all these different items on there. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the point of this podcast is that there is a significantly better way to do it. So even though you see major label artists doing, you know, kind of using the bulk strategy, you really want to be thinking different, a little bit more grassroots. I mean, because a lot of the customers who use SamCart, of course, there's probably a handful of musicians, but a lot of them are people who are just kind of by themselves, like making, so some of them $1 million businesses, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's what's crazy. So like, that's the cool part. Like everyone listening to this should be thinking of this as like a really cool opportunity because like these major labels, that's what you get when you have people who are like music producers and stuff like that, like creating a storefront experience. Like, or trying to sell stuff, like you're going to get a music person's sort of take on it. Like that's not their expertise, right? But it's a really cool opportunity for all of you guys out there who like, you know, you got to be doing your own stuff, right? You're like sort of working underground or whatever. Is you have this opportunity to break the mold and the results will be there if you subscribe to some, you know, listen to people who understand marketing and sales when it comes to selling your stuff, right? And create your music with your own creativity. That's your guys' deal. So now SamCart gets a chance. We get to be like the outsourced marketing, sales, design team, you know, when it comes to like selling stuff online for small businesses, for small music producers, you know, for like small bands, you know, it's like that's sort of our niche is people who I don't have time for the tech stuff. I don't have time to be the expert in this. And they just, you know, we like to provide a tool that helps you ship that off your plate.
Yeah, I love it. So this may be a paradigm shift for a lot of our listeners, but what's wrong with selling on multi-seller platforms like Amazon or iTunes?
Because we just talked about some things that might be wrong with, you know, putting a whole bunch of items on your own website. But of course, traditionally, I mean, literally, I mean, SamCart sells a lot of digital products. They specialize in helping people sell digital products. Literally, music is one of the most popular and most sold digital products in existence.
That's got to be. Yeah, 100%.
So that said, you know, most of those sales traditionally from major labels are coming from the big platforms like your Amazons, your iTunes, your Spotifys. So why, especially for more up and coming or niched musicians, why would relying primarily on companies like that be maybe not the best move?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I'm not a music guy. I do love music. I'm always in Spotify. I use Spotify. So like, I'm more like, think of me as on the music side of things, I'm probably your guys' listeners like audience, right? Like you're trying to get me to listen to you. And so here's what I do, right? Is I go on Spotify and I'm listening for new artists, up and coming people, like, you know, show me something that's like somebody big and, you know, whatever. So I use Spotify as a way of discovering new artists. And I think that's how you guys should be looking at it too, is get discovered on platforms like that. But when it comes to selling, it is so much more important to own your own medium. And so I'll explain that like this, right? The analogy we always give is like Oprah, right? Oprah never sold anything that was hers. right? But she talks about a book, and that book is gone for like 6 months. You can't find it on a store, right? Like Oprah owns her own medium. She has an audience that is dying to listen to her about her recommendations, right? And so you guys as a band, you need to be thinking about it, and you guys are doing a great job of telling them about like things like email marketing, right? Things like a social media following, things like that. Those are mediums that you guys own. That's an audience, a captive audience you can talk to anytime, anywhere. And you don't get that through Amazon. You don't get that through like multi-seller places. Amazon has a huge audience of people who are going there, selling, looking at stuff like that. But there's so much competition there. But here's where there's no competition. There's no competition when you're building your own email list. And anytime you want, you can email a couple hundred people, 1,000 people, whatever, and tell them about your newest show or your newest offer or, whatever it is. That's basically my long and short answer is, as small bands, it's even more important, small businesses, niche bands, like things like that, to be owning your own medium and building those assets. Like that is a business asset. So when SamCart, right now we're in the middle of a big promotion we'll talk about later, but we spend all of our time and effort building our email lists, right? Because anytime we want to be able to email 100,000 people, email 200,000 people, and let them know what we're doing. And that's what you guys got to be doing too. So that's the big advantage of taking it on your own site, get discovered in big places where people are listening and looking for music, but take them back to other places and sort of capture and build your own audience.
Absolutely. And another point I want to make real quick about things like Amazon and iTunes specifically is Amazon and iTunes are ultimately built to make themselves profitable. Amazon and iTunes, things like that, they're so massive that they know they're automatically attracting people who want to sell things just because, that there are people who are using that platform. So if they lose you as a customer, it's not going to be a very big deal for them. Because what happens is, say someone actually buys, for instance, your music on iTunes, what iTunes is going to do as soon as that sale is made is they're not going to be, hey, buy some more music from this artist. They're going to say, hey, look at all these other awesome artists who are also on our platform. You should buy some of their music. And so at the end of the day, that's going to help iTunes make more money after they make the sale, after someone's really excited about getting new music. iTunes is in it to make more money for them, but they're not going to help make more money for you, the artist. And so that's where SamCart is so different, because you guys are actually developing a platform where once someone buys something from you, it all goes back to you. There is no opportunity to, okay, now go buy something from this other seller. It all just stays in your oown selling world, essentially.
Yeah, you own your own customer list. That is the most valuable asset. Like, I don't know if you guys preach this kind of thing. Whatever you're doing, like a lot of people on SamCart, it's their passion, right? A lot of people have transitioned and now it's their full-time gig. But for like you guys bands, like your band is your passion, but you got to treat it like a business, and you're growing assets that are going to grow your business. And that customer list, the list of people who have been to your shows, list of people who have bought t-shirts, bought music, whatever, that is the most valuable business asset you could possibly own. And no, SamCart's all about that. It's all about making sure that you're in control. Amazon's not keeping those customers, iTunes not keeping them. It's like when you're on SamCart, you get to hang on to them. You're building that list.
All right, so talk about SamCart and why you build it, and how is it the answer to these problems that we've been talking about?
100%. So myself and Brian, we're not tech guys. Like, that is the opposite of what we do. We're not web developers. We're not like coders. That's like not our skill set whatsoever. We are marketing and sales guys. Like, that's sort of what we study. That's what our passions are. That's like when I am reading a book for my own pleasure, like it's something about like copywriting and like writing convincing sales copy kind of stuff. But to sell our stuff, back when we were doing Facebook stuff and we're doing baseball stuff, whatever, we had to use these tools that are built for developers. They're like specifically built for guys who aren't us, right? There was nothing for like the low tech 2-3 man woman operations to like sell stuff. And selling stuff is freaking complicated. Like, you have to be secure, right? You have to like be hooked up to a merchant account. You got to be like, you need that little green lock button on your checkout pages. It's like, and then we also had all these other things that we wanted to do when someone buys. And so I'm sure we'll get more into this, but we wanted to do stuff like one-click upsells to make our customers more valuable. We wanted to do stuff like when someone buys, add them to an email list in my email tool so I can talk to them later. And, it's like all that kind of stuff. So there's all the stuff we knew was like totally bare bones, essential to our business, had to have it. So we had to use these tools. We always were like shoehorning our businesses into these tools that weren't built for guys like us. And so what do we end up doing? We ended up hiring guys. Like, it started with like outsourced folk in the Philippines, like trying to talk to some dude in broken English about building, like a secure checkout page. And obviously that's exactly as big of a nightmare as it sounds. And so then it turned into like real expensive guys here in the States. We're shelling out I mean, we're talking about like 20, 30 grand, for like one checkout process.
Well, because do the advanced stuff that you want to do, I mean, just a little while ago, it would be really expensive to actually pull this off.
It was so terrible. And then of course, like you're just like crossing your fingers, praying it doesn't break. Like heaven forbid something actually goes wrong, because then you're shelling out more money. The guy's got to come back and fix it. So anyway, so long story short, in like 2013, I think it was like 2013. We had a buddy of ours who Brian knew from high school, had just sold some little software kind of app of his. And so anyway, so he was a developer, but also kind of had a mind for like marketing and sales. And we were like, dude, we have this idea that we kind of want to build, like, any interest in doing it. And it was just sort of right time, right place. He built us this little thing. At the time, it was called Safe Payment Host, but it was just for us. We wanted to be able to build checkout pages that looked nice, that had marketing elements that we knew would increase conversion. It needed to be able to integrate with other like email marketing tools that we loved. It needed to be able to do things like one-click upsells, which of course we'll get into. I'm sure not too many people are familiar with that term, but it needed to do all of these things, and we needed to be able to control it. Me and Brian needed to be able to manipulate it and change things and make new products and, do all this stuff. And he built it for us. It worked. It was insanely awesome. And people started taking notice. And so we have a bunch of friends in like the marketing world and stuff who were paying attention. And like, well, what is that? And so then we went back to that guy. His name was Justin. We're like, Justin, like, do you think we could maybe build this in a way that other people could pay us to use it? And we didn't know it at the time, but we had just invented SamCart. So that's basically what happened. Obviously, since then, it's been a crazy run. We were in beta for like a year, 2014 to 2015. We've been out of beta for a little bit over 2 years now. And we're at something, I guess, what are we now? There's probably 6,000 or 7,000 businesses calling SamCart home. This year, SamCart customers are going to sell over $250 million of their own products and services, from everything from like physical goods, to digital goods, to services, to music, to like teacup pigs. Like it's just like all this like crazy. Anyway, so everyone in any business can use SamCart for sure. And it's literally meant for people like myself, like Brian, like I'm pretty sure you guys, right? You guys aren't coders, developers, right? You guys are music people.
I know a touch of HTML, but beyond that.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, and the only reason I'm that is because I sit across from like 7 dudes who are like total pros, been doing this their whole career kind of thing. But yeah, no, I mean, it's meant for people who are not technical, but are running a passion business, or, trying to grow something and need the advanced stuff that we know helps grow businesses and all that, but they got to be able to do it by themselves in their spare time without the tech stuff.
Yeah. Well, on Full Circle Music Show, we're all about breaking paradigms for our listeners. And one paradigm, I think, is that people are stuck in this mode of, well, how do we sell a record for $10? You guys have another view of that, and we have adopted that within our company that, hey, instead of selling an album for $10, you can make $40 through a concept called upsells.
Well, yeah, which is just such a foreign concept. Is like, I have a $10 product, but when I sell that $10 product, I can actually make $40 from that same sale. How does that even work?
Exactly.
So yeah, could you just explain like how SamCart actually does that?
So for anybody who's not familiar with the term upsell, like McDonald's basically invented the term upselling. Now, like people have been doing this since the dawn of time. This is how like, everybody has ever done this. But putting a name to it, basically you buy McDonald's hamburger, they ask you, would you like fries with that? That's an upsell, right? They just got you from spending like $3 to $5, that kind of thing. That's an upsell. And so when McDonald's offers you fries, like here's the crazy part. They'll sell you a burger that costs like $3 and only make like 25 cents in profit off that burger. But they know that if you buy a burger, you're going to buy fries and a drink. And that extra $2 is like 10x is their profits, because their profit on that extra $2 is like $1.80, right? So they've just gone from making 25 cents to making over $2, right? And so anyway, so that's basically the premise. The premise is I'm going to sell you something, and then immediately after you buy, I'm going to offer you something else. And it's called a one-click upsell, because technically, and this is just a technical thing that SamCart makes really easy, it's as easy as buying it with one click. I'm going to offer you something, and you basically are going to press one button, sort of like buying on Amazon. Like, I think a lot of people are familiar with that. They have your credit card on file, right? And you just like say, cool, yeah, I'll buy that, click. And so when you make it that easy for someone to buy, you're not re-entering credit card information. You're not, I don't know, you can't misspell, you can put in bad digits or whatever, right? It's already there. When it's that easy, it is incredible how much more people will actually buy when you put a one-click upsells in place. And so that's been something, it has been the lifeblood of every business we've ever touched. And so SamCart, it is a crux of what SamCart does for sure, mainly just because that was something we knew we always needed. I mean, our businesses, none of the things we've ever touched, even like clients, businesses we helped with, whatever over the years, none of them would be where they are without one-click upsells. And so if you're not using one-click upsells now, don't be like, oh man, I'm totally missing out. Be like, get pumped, because they will change your business forever. Like as a quick example, when we were doing Facebook marketing stuff, there were a lot of other people who were selling like Facebook marketing 101, right? Like all these kind of things. And pretty much back at the time in like 2011, everyone was selling that course. There's probably like 20 of them, right? For like $97. Okay. But here's the crazy part. If you're not using one-click upsells, someone buys a $100 product from you, right? That customer is worth $100, period. End of story, right? Like someone buys a $10 record, they're worth $10. That's it, sale over. But what we did is with one-click upsells, we dropped our price because we knew we were going to make more money after the sale. So our price was $47. And so we were half the price. So how many more customers do you think we got? Because our prices were half of what the other guys were. But because of our one-click upsells, our $47 customers were worth almost $200. And so everyone and their mother were undercutting all of our competition, but we're making twice as much money because we would sell them something and then effectively sell them other things that they're already interested in that we know that they're going to love right after the point of sale. And so like right there on the spot, we're making twice as much money with half the costs, like our prices being half of what our competition is. I mean, it's a crazy strategy, and there's a lot of applications. We could talk about this stuff like for 2 whole podcasts, like just by this self. That's what one-click upsells are. I know you guys had some other stuff you were talking about.
We'll
like
talk about
music,
that.
but.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of us as music listeners out there are like, well, okay, it's got our wheels spinning. What else can musicians use as upsells?
Because the idea of an upsell is you sell them one product, then you instantly sell them another product. For a lot of musicians, like their minds go to, okay, I'm a musician, therefore I have CDs and t-shirts.
Yeah.
So like what kind of things after someone buys that CD or t-shirt, like do you have any thoughts? I know we have some thoughts we can add too, but do you have any thoughts as what kind of things could someone sell that might be high value to really increase how much money you're making per customer?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, before we even get into this, like whoever's listening to this, like this next 5 minutes of this conversation is going to be like the gold of all gold to find. Like you come up with a couple of ideas, like start small, 2 or 3 ideas of something else you can sell your customers. And like it will change your business forever. Every time we add an upsell to a business, we double our revenue overnight. I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, as far as what could bands be upselling? I mean, to me, like the things that we always upsell is we always upsell more of the same. So like someone buys my, let's just say someone buys like an EP, right? Or something like that. Like I'm going to go put out, I got 5 songs, something like that. Sell them like the backstage behind the scenes video, like something like that. Like start recording your sessions, right? Start putting out some unreleased singles. Like, I want to record like, I don't know, like what other things, like we always call it selling your breadcrumbs. Okay. So when we're creating SamCart, we're creating all these other little byproducts, right? That like just come up naturally. When we're creating SamCart, we're talking about stuff like our meetings. We've started recording our meetings in-house because people want to buy them. They want to hear about how our meetings can go and the marketing stuff that's getting thrown around and stuff like that. And that's our breadcrumbs. That's stuff that's just trash to us. We don't need it. It's our product we're making is SamCart, but our customers want to buy it. And so when you're creating music, when you are, you're writing lyrics, you're, whatever it is, the whole creative process from like a blank sheet of paper to having like a finished album or finished EP, what are your breadcrumbs along the way? Like start recording, start keeping notes, start, put out your tabs. I mean, like, followers of your music, like how much are they going to want to like, I want to play covers, right? Like me and my friends want to jam out to this music, right? So start selling tabs, start selling like the behind the scenes videos, of course, other things like t-shirts and stuff like that. If someone's buying your music, of course, they're going to want to buy other stuff about your band, right? So offer them. One of the other things like, that we always talk about in the physical product space is somebody buys something, then sell them more of the same thing. So look, you bought my EP. All right. So here's like, buy 2 more CDs for the price of 1. Like here's my other music kind of stuff. But yeah, wrap special offers around it, sell more stuff at a discount. And I know you guys have other ideas. So we'll just start throwing them out.
Yeah, I'll mention a couple. I mean, definitely like we kind of talked about t-shirts, but I mean, you can throw together like whole merch packages. Like this is really common at actual like merch tables at shows. They'll give you like 5 different items for a discounted price. And so that's a big thing you could upsell. You kind of talked about like more CDs. So like, so the idea of like a box set. One big thing that a lot of musicians don't take up enough, and it's really common on platforms like Patreon, but where you kind of have like an exclusive fan club membership and they get access to special features where they're literally paying you effectively monthly. Every single month, they're giving you more money to continue to put out content. So you could literally, through SamCart, because SamCart absolutely has the technology, you could instantly offer them, hey, join my fan club. Even better yet, get it free or for just $1 for 30 days. And then all they have to do is click one single button to say, yes, I would love this additional content free for 30 days. And then after that, just like any other kind of free trial, it would start charging them after the trial's over. And then everyone who would stay on as part of your fan club would be giving you recurring monthly income.
Yeah,
which could be a game changer for a lot of musicians.
Huge.
You can absolutely sell like live events through SamCart, so concert tickets. It's really common, especially for independent artists, to do house concerts. That could be a really high ticket item. Someone could literally buy your music, and then you could be like, hey, want to spend $500 for me to come to your house and actually play a show, and you can invite your friends?
Book it.
At that rate, I mean, think of every single person who's hot and ready to buy your music. If you instantly offer them a special discount on a house concert, think of how many of those you could get. And that's the magic of one-click upsells, is it's not just, oh, here's another product I have. But the reason that they work, the reason that so many people get them, is because you offer them something special. You offer something that it's either a discount or a special bonus or something where they have to click that button or they're never going to get access to it again. And that's
100%.
why people will very often go ahead and get that upsell and spend a lot more money on you. And that's how SamCart is built, because they are going to just have to click the one button. They're going to get something exclusive they can never get anywhere else. And it's going to increase a massive amount to your bottom line.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things you just said there is like that word exclusive, like for bands and stuff like that. Like it's one thing for businesses who are selling products or they're selling like physical goods, you know, something like expires, right? But like when it comes to bands, like what is everyone's desire, right? When they like find you, they find some cool new band, is they want to know about it before other friends do, right? Like I want to be the guy, like what's that t-shirt that's like, I listen to bands that don't even exist yet. You know, it's like that's like music, you know, like audiophiles, like that's what they're dying for and stuff like that. So if you can offer upsells that give them more of that exclusivity, right? That give you more of that, like, look, I'm going to get on the insider club, right? So that I get like first access to like new ticket releases, like if we're playing some venue, right? Like you're first in line to get tickets, stuff like that. Like people will pay you for more access to your band. They will pay you for a private show. They will pay you for behind the scenes stuff. They will pay you for a t-shirt that you're not going to buy, that is not at the table, like at your next concert or something like that. You know, so like there's so many things that you can tap into what your audience is looking for. But yeah, I mean, one-click upsells is just all about letting people spend more money. If you're selling a CD for $10 and you're not letting someone who's willing to spend more, that's what you're missing out on. And that's what one-click upsells really taps in.
Yeah. So man, this literally, just like you said, the last 5 minutes, my mind is just blown. I think back to my days.
Podcast over.
Podcast over. Like
it's on repeat 20 times and let them listen to it for an hour. Yeah.
Like if this was a mic and it wasn't on this stand, it would be dropped right now. So like
I'll drop mine. I got to pick it up, but I'll
drop it. Pick it up and drop it. So good. But what about people who aren't musicians? What about people like music producers who are
because they're musicians too, but maybe they're not artists with music.
Artists. Yeah. Or people looking to do things like give music lessons.
So yeah, because we do have people who listen to the podcast who maybe or don't actually have a audio recording to sell to, but they're probably like
or even songwriters.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, songwriters, booking agents.
So I mean, are there other things like the people who live more in this world that could SamCart be beneficial to
absolutely.
people?
I mean, whatever it is, if you're accepting money in any way that you're accepting money, if someone's booking studio time or something like that, like someone, whatever your product is that you're selling to people, you can be using SamCart to sell it and then offer them more stuff. I mean, that's the crux of it. Like the cool part is it gets like whoever you are, whatever you are, you're a band, you're a producer, you're selling physical products, like whatever it is, SamCart is just the tool that lets you tap into more of your own passion and creativity. So you got a passion for producing music and bringing people in and recording, and you know maybe you're pushing out music too, whatever it is. But really what SamCart is hopefully you guys can get that from this conversation too. It's really about unlocking new possibilities that are just like effective ways to sell more stuff and letting you be the one who runs with it. Like, oh man, what else can I sell? You know, it's like all these other tools, like building a, sort of like a generic storefront on your site or whatever. Like it's all plug and play, right? It's like, okay, all right, this is where I put my CDs and this is where I put my t-shirts and this kind of stuff. But SamCart frames it in a totally different way that lets you say like, okay, sick, what else can I sell? Like, and that's really the creative part that you get to unlock. Whatever it is that you're doing, that you're selling, is think like, okay, cool. Like, what else can I be doing? It gives you the tool you need to start unlocking and tapping into some of these other ideas. But for me, if I was thinking like if I had studio time, someone's booking studio time with me, anytime that happens, I would never do it in person. I would never like let them swipe a credit card. I send them to a SamCart checkout page where an upsell is going to be like, look, let me get your next session at 50% off if you pay ahead of time. It's like, let me book you, get 10 hours, like, bulk time at X% off, and you can just call me and book whenever you want, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, like, let me get you a stage band. It's like, I'll help you book, my drummer and my, whatever. I know that's a popular thing. Had a lot of friends doing that in Nashville for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of stuff. Whatever your product is, right? Find ways to help people. You're going to let them buy more right away, right? At some kind of discount, some kind of exclusive offer. But whatever that is, of course, the cool part is it's really open-ended. Like you can run with these ideas as much as you possibly can, but maybe you guys have some other things more specific to producers, but that's sort of what comes off the top of my head.
Oh, that's yeah, great. You hit on some really good ones. I mean, I think if there are people out there giving music lessons, which I'm sure we have some in our listening audience, accessories. I mean, think guitar teachers, things like guitar strings or
100%
things that, tuners, just different things like that. If you're a producer, like you said, I love the idea of, hey, I'd love to do your next one as well too, 50% off.
And you can do that with music lessons too.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
50% off if you pay for one music lesson, and then
book a package
if you instantly book an extra package of 6 lessons, we'll give
100%.
you like 25% off the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
We actually have a member of our now our dev team here, but that's this guy's name is Matt Frieswick. He's been with us for a long time, since like SamCart first started out. But we found him. He was doing voice lessons because he's an opera singer. So he's doing voice lessons at a local like shop or whatever like that. And he started using SamCart to book his lessons and did the exact same thing. So he's basically, a couple of people who he knows only booked like, once every couple of months or something. He basically got them on like a monthly schedule because he was booking through SamCart and as an upsell offered some discounts on that. So anyway, no, I mean, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, so good.
So with SamCart, you guys have been around for a little while at this point, and there are some other kind of players in the checkout space.
Sure, yeah.
Of course, like we've talked about, Amazon, iTunes, definitely for musicians, but kind of for a lot of online sellers, there's like things like Shopify is a big one out there. And I do know some musicians use that. And there's a lot of other, companies coming up that are like, we can sell stuff too.
Yeah.
But what specifically makes SamCart a better choice than pretty much all the rest of the options out there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, I own SamCart. I have a very vested interest in getting everyone listening to this to start paying me to use SamCart. So that being said, like whatever tool works for you is great. Like I'm never, ever, ever going to say something like to some band guy, like, look, if you got a Shopify thing set up, great, no problem. Like use them. But my one thing is a lot of what we've talked about here in this call is just a different take on it. Like it's a different, like you're coming from a completely different side of the marketing sales equation. Like there's a million ways to skin a cat. Like there's a million ways to sell your stuff online, right? Like there's one way that's like the Shopify, I'm going to set up all my products in a storefront and just kind of hope people find it and check out, right? And SamCart is just a different style. Like we're going to sell you one thing at one time, and we're going to talk about and like add in marketing and sales stuff in there, like adding guarantees to a checkout page, right? Like if I offer a guarantee on my checkout page, and we know this because we watch our stats like hawks and stuff here. If I add a guarantee to my checkout page, I know I'm going to increase my conversion by 45.1%.
Well, let me stop you there real quick, because I mean, a lot of musicians, that's probably a foreign concept. The idea of, hey, if you don't like my CD, I'll give you your money back if you say so within 30 days. Like that's probably something that hardly any musician is doing. However, think of how many more people you could get to buy your music if you did something like that.
Yeah, I think most musicians are coming at this from a standpoint of literally just scraping by and trying to get people to buy it in the first place. And let's take it a step further and have them, let's raise their thinking and say, you know what, this is ultimately about the fans anyway.
Yeah.
This is
100%.
not about us. So this is really putting your money where your mouth is and saying, hey, I believe in my music. I believe it has power. It can impact you. I'll give it to you for free if you don't like it even.
Yeah, bingo. And so like, I come from a world where it's like 30 days money back guarantee, right? Or something like that. Like that's SamCart using a software tool. But yeah, I mean, like for musicians, it's like, look, if you don't like this music, I'll buy it back from you. Like things like that, right? And I'll send you a signed t-shirt if like, like you don't love it, whatever, that kind of stuff. But it's that idea, like all that is just like a proven marketing sales thing that we all know works. And for whatever reason, people just like don't put on pages where someone's placing an order. I mean, it's crazy how foreign that concept is, and especially with other tools. So yeah, SamCart's much more about like, look, I'm going to sell you one thing right here, right now, right? Checkout page is all about one product. It's got marketing elements that help you capture more customers. And yeah, I mean, just applying the same sort of like sales tactics and stuff that we read in books that, like that all the, whatever, that's our side of things, right? That's of course something that we can help teach and help make easier and more, I guess, less foreign, right? I guess for band folk like you guys. But yeah, it's a different theory. That's all it is. That's really, at the end of the day, that's all it is. And I think maybe number two, if I was going to put on number two on that one, it is meant for people who aren't techie. It's meant for people who need to I need to make a change right now in the next 8 minutes, and then I got to move on with my week. It's and you never know. You don't have time to touch this stuff every day. You don't have time to sit down and learn how to code or, it's like that kind of stuff. We take out all the technological stuff. It is built for people who are limited with time, limited with resources, and can't afford to go out there and hire other people to help them out or something like that. So different strategies to how you sell and the advanced stuff that you need to sell more, and then keeping everything real easy.
Okay. And with SamCart, you guys have all this great training and a lot of things that will help people as soon as they get into it. But one other thing that I've been really impressed with lately is your guys' customer service, and just how there's a little button in the bottom corner of every SamCart page, and you can just click there and type in your question, and someone gets back to you pretty fast. Could you just talk about that and kind of what that's meant for people starting out?
Yeah, no, I mean, we have really made our customer support a huge priority. I mean, it's always been okay, but honestly, it's not something we ever put just a ton of effort into it. And we're really, honestly, probably times where it hurt us pretty bad. But anyway, no, I mean, we just made a huge commitment in the last 6 months to just really, really, really serving our customers as best we possibly can. So we wanted to partner the best tool with the best price with the best support. And we really thought those pillars, as far as building a company, that would be a big strength of ours. So yeah, no, I mean, we've doubled the size of our support team. We now have 6 full-time support people in-house every day, speak English. I mean, we're definitely never farmed that over to India or anything like that. But no, we use a tool called Intercom, is specifically what you're talking about. It's a very cool tool. I don't know if musicians have much for use for that, but it's, inside of our app and everything. So no, I mean, we stagger our time. We're here on the East Coast. We're outside of DC. So we have customers from around the world. There's no way we could quite yet do something like 24/7 support, but we try to have people on from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Eastern time. And so just enough for people out there on the West Coast, just enough for people in Europe. We have a huge following, actually, contingency in the UK and Western Europe, stuff like that. So no, I mean, it's just something, you put your money where your mouth is. I mean, that's true with anything. You're building a band, you're building a software company. I mean, we just decided that it was time to just put our money where our mouth is and stuff. And so we stopped hiring. And again, you talk about the tough lessons column, and this has just been a really tough lesson for us as far as, we're decently new to what we're doing. No, I mean, we just stopped hiring the cheapo people, and we started hiring people that make serious money to help support our customers. And the difference has just been absolutely night and day. So yeah, no, I mean, as far as just, we want to make sure that if you go in the tool and you open up our little message icon in your dashboard and write back, our average response time right now, including overnight when no one's on, is just a shy under 30 minutes. But if you're on while we're on, it's usually pretty instantaneous, basically like live chat. We want to make sure that anyone and everyone who comes to SamCart with questions, that we are, it's another feature of our tool, is that you have people who can help.
Yeah, and I want to stress, I know we were just having with Full Circle, we had an issue with a website domain, basically www.yourwebsite.com, that the company that hosted that for us, I think that Jericho was on the phone with someone for about 2 hours or something like that, trying to get something resolved. Geez. But I would like to just point out to the listeners, SamCart is on their game. And I mean, if you need help, they're right there for you. They'll give you links. They'll take screenshots. They'll give you GIFs or GIFs or however you want to say that.
Well, we appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a big focus for us. I mean, it's that's the kind of stuff that and this is true, again, this is true with anything, right? If you take the time and you really, you invest in the people who are investing in you, if you're asking someone to spend money with you, come to your shows, whatever like that, you pay a little bit back, you invest a little bit back into that relationship, and it comes back to you tenfold. I mean, the amount of personal recommendations and just word of mouth that happens out there specifically from our support is huge. Yeah, it's definitely been something we poke into and want to invest a lot of time and effort into.
One thing that a lot of musicians really struggle with is, for most of them out there, if you're an independent artist, if you're a band, if you're a producer, most people are doing this literally by themselves. Eventually when you get to a certain place, you can hire a booking agent, you can hire a manager. But even at that point, you're only hiring them because things are out of capacity. And they're still doing like 100 different things at once. And the problem is a lot of musicians, they can afford to put their music up on some sort of platform so it's available for sale. Right. But a lot of them don't have the time to like go out and find all these people and try and, get people to buy and generate traffic and all this traffic to their website and all this sort of stuff. So SamCart, you guys have something very interesting that I'm sure our audience is very unaware of, and that's called affiliate marketing, where essentially you can not really hire, but you can incentivize effectively an army of people to sell your product, your music for you. Could you just explain kind of how that works and why that's super valuable?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so like the way that we like tongue in cheek explain it, right, is that it's like like a really cool, actual, legitimate way to do a pyramid scheme. Like that's like essentially the way that it works, right? But I mean, in a sense that you're not going to have to bug your friends or anyway. So, but let's just say you're selling music, right? And I buy it. I'm a customer of yours and I really love it. Or your apparel or, whatever it is that you're selling. And then I know I have friends that want to go do that same, like they would love this music, right? What you can do inside of SamCart is it's called the Affiliate Center. It's available on our premium account. And you could basically give me a link to your checkout page or your website or, whatever. And if I share that link to my friends or whatever, and they come through and buy, I can get a cut of that sale. And so you can assign to give me, like 10% or 25%. Some people do like 50%. It can get really high. But basically you can incentivize me, one of your awesome followers that is like totally into your stuff. The ability, I can get the ability to get a kickback from you when I recommend your stuff to my friends. And so, that is a huge way to incentivize word of mouth. I mean, obviously like positive word of mouth, especially with music, people are definitely willing to share.
Because that's the thing, like people are literally sharing music to their friends already.
Sure.
And if those people knew that they could actually make money by sharing that same music with their friends, I mean, I think for a lot of musicians, it would be a game changer as far as if they have a good sized fan base, like if they just got, say you have a really strong fan base of a few thousand people. And if you just got like 100 people who are interested, like, yeah, I'd love to sell music for you and get some, make some 100%. Extra money by doing it. Like imagine if you had an army of like 100 music fans out there intentionally, actively selling your music because they want to, because they can actually, of course, they want to spread your music around, but also they can actually make money doing it. And at the end of the day, if you have other people selling for you, you're just kind of sitting back and you're raking in kind of the profits or the money automatically.
No, I mean, it's a big piece of, it's always been a big piece of a lot of what we do. And so again, like, this world of like selling stuff online can be big and scary and there's a lot of different things, but it's one of those things with SamCart that we just, again, our whole thing is there are tools that do that whole thing of like affiliates and incentivizing other people to sell your stuff. There are tools that do that in a really complex manner. And then there's SamCart. Like we try to keep it as simple as we possibly can and make it super like dead simple for you or anyone else to go in there and get the benefit of what we're talking about, get the benefit of people recommending and you incentivizing them to recommend you, but keeping it so simple that you can do it in a couple of seconds, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, we basically just want to open up the possibilities of proven, solid sales marketing strategy and put it inside of a tool that like you could teach your grandma to go out there and start selling your CDs for. It's like whatever it is. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something, it is built into SamCart. It is a very, very powerful thing. It's definitely how we generate a lot of signups for SamCart. We do the same thing. And it's possible. So it's definitely one of those things out there that is 100% for sure a great strategy and is a part of SamCart.
And so you guys are in the middle of kind of a brand new wave of SamCart right now. You guys just launched something brand new and you're kind of, I think it was like a podcast like a day or two ago that you guys actually launched it to the world.
Yeah, in the middle of it.
So, and with even this podcast that we're recording right now, this is number 4 in a whole marketing series that we've done. We've talked about marketing church music. We've talked about building an email list and converting fans to customers that way. We've talked
YouTube
about
marketing.
And now we're here for kind of the culmination with actually selling your music. Because at the end of the day, you can have the biggest fan base ever, but if you're not selling music, then how are you going to have a music career?
Or selling something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Something, yeah. Something with cash attached.
Because let's be honest, in 1 year from now, we may not even be having the same conversation about selling music. But the reality is as musicians, to make a living at it, you have to sell something. Whether it's those experiences, concert tickets, merchandise, access, whatever it is, people are going to be selling something.
Yeah. Big time.
So, and this whole time we've been telling people, wait for number 4 because we're going to give some really awesome free stuff away. And so could you just talk about what is available? Talk about your launch.
Definitely.
What's available to the listeners right now for free?
For sure. Yeah. So what we did on Monday is we released our brand new plan. So it's SamCart Basic. So up until now, of course, you guys probably have no idea about any of this stuff. Up until Monday, SamCart cost $99 a month for our Pro plan, and it was $199 for Premium, which is a lot. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of money, like $1,200 a year for our like middle tier plan. You know, I mean, like that can be a ton. And so really what we wanted to do was just sort of like unlock what SamCart can do and unlock it for people who, I mean, are just starting out, right? Or don't have, I mean, $1,200 a year, like that's a lot of money. And so anyway, so we released SamCart Basic is $19 a month. And so the platform, everything about SamCart, all the like cool, awesome stuff you can do just as easy. I mean, you know, it's like all the awesome design and everything that people love for just $19 a month. And so you definitely can get that in the next, I believe it's on the 17th is when we sort of close down. So, it's got another,
we're going to be airing this episode just a few days before it closes down. So if you're listening to this right now, you need to get on this.
Yeah. So it's on the 17th we close down, but before then, it's a really special offer. There's a couple of cool things that come with it. Number one is sort of like our online selling stuff manifesto, right? It's sort of like our constitution of selling stuff. It's called the Freedom Formula Report. And it's basically like a 50 some odd page just book, essentially, that my brother Brian wrote. That's all about like, how do I structure really compelling offers, right? Like, how do I make products? How do I like talk about things that sell them, right? Like, how do I take something that's just a concert ticket and start creating something from that that's like much more compelling that people will buy, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's basically just like a soup to nuts building of your online business and structuring it so that you're bringing in revenue, you're bringing in as much revenue as you can. You know, it's talking about growing an email list in there. I mean, it's just all this like, you know, foundational marketing sales stuff. And it's absolutely killer. I mean, it's one of our most popular things. So anyway, we throw that in free. When you get SamCart, there's also something called the 21-day checkout cure, which is basically like 21 days, one email a day for 21 days, that at the end of that whole thing, your checkout process is like locked in. It is like completely ready to go, ready to capture as many customers as possible, ready to make your customers worth 2 or 3 times as much as they normally are when they check out, basically to help you get the most out of a SamCart account, whether you're brand new to marketing stuff, whether this like whole idea of selling stuff online is like something you've been doing for a while. And then the last piece is a training course, about 90 minutes, but it's something we call How to Make Your First $1,000 in 14 days. And so it's basically like if I was going to start from scratch tomorrow, right? Like SamCart burned down or something, whatever the digital equivalent of it would be burning down. If that was gone, what would we do tomorrow morning to start making an income online? So again, that's really regardless of whatever you're selling music, you're selling digital products, physical goods, whatever it is, that's basically what it is for us. So
let me stop real quick, because guys, if you heard what he said make $1,000 within 14 days. And I'm sure that there are plenty of SamCart customers who have done exactly that and more. And the whole point of what you just said is, I mean, literally, you guys are going to handhold these people through the process of actually making $1,000 within 14 days. And then what SamCart's offering right now is a 30-day trial, which is more than they normally offer. Normally, it's just a 14-day trial. Yeah. So you get an extended trial right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And so again, like that part comes with a guarantee. Like I'm certainly never going to sit here and say like, yeah, everybody makes $1,000 in the first 14 days. But we get stories over and over and over again. I mean, it seems like the people who are willing to apply their own creativity and apply it to their craft in the way that we're going to outline and stuff like that. Like we had one guy a couple weeks ago who was like, you know what? I've never started anything online. I've been dragging my feet on this for like 4 years. I got a SamCart account. I went through that training and he did his first sort of like promotion, right? He put like a sale on or whatever on like day 13. What was it? It was like $8,750 or something like that. So it's like $8,750, something like that from his first like sort of promotion like that, which is killer. I mean, it's like, so again, like it comes with a guarantee. Listen, like we understand. I know I am like the ultimate skeptic. For me, I am like, show me the numbers, show me this stuff is working. Like that's my whole thing. But anyway, so if anybody out there is like sitting there like, oh, these guys like these jokers, listen, it's just what we would do. It's exactly what we would do if you follow it with us. Like I'm certainly not going to sit here and guarantee anything, but what I can say is there's absolutely no risk for anybody. Like Logan said, I mean, right now you get all that stuff I just mentioned along with SamCart completely free for 30 days. So we're not taking anything from you. This is no like, you know, give me $1,000 and I'll show you how to make $1,000. Like that's nonsense. Anybody ever tries to tell you that stuff to like burn their email. All we're saying is give it a shot. All we're saying is SamCart is a great tool. It's something that we know can deliver results for people who are ready and willing and able to start putting in their own time and their own effort. And we just want to make it that much more applicable. That much more like appealing, right? So yeah, limited time, extended free trial offer, just $19 a month now after that for SamCart Basic. Of course, there are other levels if that's something you guys want to do too. And then all of that other free stuff along with it. So basically, You come, try us out for free. We'd love to give you a ton of like some of our best training to sort of get you up to speed and get you involved in this world that like we sort of live in, and then also give you just a tool that's going to help you do even more with it.
So as we're wrapping up, why should people grab this free trial of SamCart right now, even if they don't have anything to sell?
Because I've already talked to some musicians and they're like, yeah, I'm working on a project right now, but it's not done. So they don't have, that specific record immediately available. But obviously we talked about there's so many other things you can sell. But why right now, specifically August? Why is this the time to jump on?
Yeah, definitely. So number one, definitely that extended trial. That's not something we do all the time. So a full 30 days to try it out. I mean, you get a month and you get access to all of this other free bonus training and stuff as well. That is not usual. So usually SamCart is a 14-day free trial. And it comes with none of this other sort of like extra bonus stuff. So all that extra stuff.
And you guys sell that extra bonus stuff for quite a bit of money often.
Yeah. We sell that stuff combined. If you wanted to buy each one of those things, I mean, you're going to spend a little over $400. So SamCart, let's just say you pay $20 for the year. That's $240 at the basic level plan, right, for the year. So for double what it would cost you to pay SamCart for the entire year, that's basically like the value you're getting back if you basically open up a trial between now and the 17th. So a lot of good stuff in there. And then, of course, this is more just like on a personal level. This is just sort of how I operate. I talk to people that think that exact like way every single day of my life. And my biggest thing is like, look, how serious are you about it? I mean, that's generally speaking, you want to drag your feet, you want to just hang out. And like, I'm always sort of getting to the point where I'm finishing, but I never finish, right? Like, I'm sure you guys talk about that all the time. Like this, you got a musician who's been working on something for, I don't know, since the turn of the century, since like Y2K, they've been working on an album and stuff. So it's just, it's like when you make commitments, right, you stick to them. Like we're so much more, that's what humans are wired. This is just whatever. Now we're getting into like personal stuff, but we're wired to do what comes out of our mouth, not what we think, right? And we're wired to do and commit to things that like we take actions on. And so I know what SamCart can do for you guys. Like, Logan, you've used it yourself. Like obviously you guys understand.
Well, yeah, we use it for our businesses, Full Circle too. Like I've sold a lot of music through SamCart, but Full Circle as our business, like whenever anyone listening to this podcast, if you purchase something from Full Circle, you're using SamCart.
Yeah. If you've been to one of our events, you have purchased that through SamCart. Or if you bought one of our courses, that's through SamCart. If you bought anything from us, it's been through SamCart.
Yeah, bingo. So, I mean, there's a lot of people. I don't really need to sell SamCart. Like there's so many people using it effectively that's a really nice cushion is, look, we get to say, there are people out there who are using it and it has changed the way that they run their business. And so I'm really, really excited. Like that means so much to me when we hear that kind of stuff. And I would love to just extend that to people. So I'd love to extend that to you, Mr., Mrs. Listener, whoever you are, wherever you are. Give it a shot. So there's zero risk on your part. We just want you to come in. We want you to check it out. And hopefully if that spurs you on to take an action on something you've kind of on the back burner, then that's even better. So that's what we're here for.
Well, Scott, just absolute fire. I've been using the emoji for fire a ton lately. I'm going to use that a ton when we post this, but it absolutely has. I've learned a ton. Our listeners are going to learn a ton. And I hope they take action because, like you said, I love what you said. How serious are you? Maybe some of our listeners out there need paradigms broken. And I hope today's show has done that. It's definitely done it for me. So. It's good.
Definitely. Well, no, it's been awesome, guys. I definitely, for any guys listening, whether you decide SamCart's right for you or not, definitely, I mean, like you guys are listening to the right folks. Yeah, take action, man. Start kicking butt. It's sitting out there waiting for you to do it.
Thanks, Scott. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Hi, this is Seth Mosley, and you've been listening to the Full Circle Music Show, the why of the music biz. Wow. That's all I can say. This was a power-packed episode.
Yeah.
I feel like I got so much value and learned a ton. And the bonuses.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like Scott from SamCart said, I mean, they have some really, really, really cool things that they're going to give away completely for free if you literally just try them out. And again, there's no obligation at all. Like this is just trying a tool that could literally change your life. If you like it, of course, you're welcome to stick around. If you don't for some reason, you're welcome to jump off and get all the bonuses that they talked about completely for free.
First things first, I'm sure everybody is asking the same question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I sign up for this?
Place you go to sign up for this is fullcirclemusic.com/SamCart. That will not only take you to a place where you have the opportunity to jump in on what Scott was talking about and get all those bonuses too, but it's also going to give you a place where you can, of course, get more information on what the tool can do. And also, you can actually see a bunch of case studies from literally people in all sorts of different walks of life and in all kinds of different situations. SamCart has put together all sorts of videos about how they've been able to use these strategies. These aren't advanced people at all. These are just normal, everyday people who kind of figured some of the stuff out that we're talking about, and they're making thousands of dollars a month. And so there's a lot of case studies you can see there. So again, fullcirclemusic.com/SamCart. And it's really important that you use that link so that we know you came to SamCart from Full Circle.
That's right.
But we actually here as Full Circle, we didn't mention this in kind of the conversation, but we would like to kind of add to that pile of bonuses.
As if what they're giving away is not enough. We're all about giving maximum value here.
I mean, literally, it's just because we believe in this strategy and using a tool like this so much that's why we're just trying to go above and beyond to literally, honestly, convince you guys to try it, because we know that if you try it, it's really going to change what you're doing in your music career. So real quick, I'm just going to tell you what we're giving away on our end as Full Circle. If you sign up before the 17th, and you have to sign up before the 17th, if you're listening to this podcast, after it's been out for a few days, you might need to sign up today. The 17th of August is the last day that any of this is going to be available. So make sure you jump on. We're going to give away a special musicians course for SamCart. It's just a walkthrough of how to specifically use SamCart for musicians from our end, from kind of our experience. We're going to share that in a little video course. We're going to give that away to you guys for free. We're going to show you guys an email upsell hack. Basically, it's a way to do some really advanced things with SamCart, even if you're just starting out on their basic plan. We talked a lot about upsells in this podcast, and we show you the best way to do that on the cheapest plan that they have available. If you can't afford to, try out their highest end plan, there's still a way to do upsells, and we have kind of a special quote hack to do that. And so we're going to give you the guide for that. We're going to give you actually an advanced course that I've personally been working on, which is called actually Rule the Internet. That's the name of the course. And it basically just teaches you how to set up a website, how to grow an email list and grow a fan base, kind of starting from scratch, but it literally holds your hand through the whole process.
I'm looking forward to taking that course.
I'm excited to complete it. It will be finished in October, but anyone, again, who gets SamCart right now, we're going to go ahead and send that to you for free in October. Amazing. That'll be really cool. Really, really advanced stuff inside of that. And then one other thing I really like is we're going to get a little bit more personal. And any of you guys who have a website, or if you don't have a website, a social media page is fine. But, we here at Full Circle, we have obviously dealt with a lot of musicians, a lot of music websites, a lot of things in the music marketing world. And so if you just, again, jump on to these free bonuses, grab a SamCart trial, we're going to allow you to basically send us a website, and we're going to review it for you, give you some tips, pointers, tricks, things you could improve on the site, what we as music industry professionals think would make your site better, and, hopefully convert more people into fans and buyers.
That's amazing. So if you guys aren't already convinced, the free stuff is going to be worth your time, literally just to sign up. It's risk-free again. The basic plan is $19 a month. Make sure you do it. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to email Logan at fullcirclemusic.com. This has been an amazing series. I've learned so much. I hope you guys have as well.
Well, I know you said, Seth, I kind of off air, but man, if you had known some of this while you were in a band,
it would have been game changing. It may have made the difference of me leaving the band in debt as opposed to actually having broken even and even potentially made money on it. So all of us are in this thing because we want to make it our career. We want to make it a living, whether you're working at a record label, whether you are the artist, whether you're a songwriter, whether you're a producer. This stuff 100% is what you have to master to make it your career. So our hope always is at Full Circle Music that we can be a part of helping turn that dream into a reality. So,
and then we always want to stay on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
We don't want to try strategies that have worked 10 years ago. We want to try the strategies that are will be good, what are working now, but also are the kind of things that will be common within 5 years that everyone will be trying and you wish you had jumped in on sooner. But we're trying to find those and help teach those now so that way you can be ahead of the curve compared to these other people who are trying to live the music dream.
Yeah. So again, email Logan at fullcirclemusic.com if you have any questions. And it's been our joy presenting this music marketing series to you. We'll be back next week with our normal, regularly scheduled programming. We'll call it that. It sounds super official.
But yes, it's been just a blast.
So if you want to get in on all these bonus offers, our bonus offers, the bonus offers that SamCart is offering, again, all for free, that link is fullcirclemusic.com/SamCart, SAMCART, fullcirclemusic.com/SamCart. And that's basically how we just track and make sure that we know you went to SamCart through our link. And that enables us to know, okay, because you did that, now we get to send you our bonuses too. And it kind of automatically will track that. So we'll know if you sign up that we'll be able to send you the bonuses, and we'll just give that to you a few days after you sign up.
This show is produced by the Full Circle Music Company with editing help from Jordan Salamoni and Jericho Scroggins. We will see you back here next week.